Welcome back to Pre-Algebra Chapter 9, Section Nothing. In this book, it is the extra green at the top geometry, which is part of Pre-Algebra. Classically, one of the things you learn in Pre-Algebra is a little geometry. So we're going to talk about triangles. Triangles have three sides. I bet you've known that since you were 3, right? But we're going to talk about it a little bit that you might not have known. Okay, if we were all meeting in class, then I would pass out little paper triangles to all of you, and I would tell you to rip the corners off. And you would do it. You would rip these little corners off, and then I would say, draw a line on a piece of paper and arrange the corners on the piece of paper and discover what shape they line up to be. They line up to be a straight line, which is 180 degrees. If we measure these degrees with our, let's see if I can get it out. I kind of dropped it back here. Yes. With our protractor, it is, boop, I don't know if you can read that, 180. Half a circle is 180 degrees. And you love my giant protractor. All right. So then the next thing is, if you have a triangle where you know 2 of the sides and you're trying to find the third one, you can set it up as an equation and solve for x. This little upside down L is the sign that means that this corner is a perfect L and it's 90 degrees. This corner, we were told, was 48 and this one is x. And if you add those 3 up, this tells you it equals 180 degrees. You'll need to have this memorized in geometry. Alright, so now we gather up our terms. That means anything we can, we add together. And we can add 90 plus 48 is 138. Now we ask our question. What's our question? Why is x not alone? Well, it's because it's got a plus 138. What's the opposite of plus 138? Minus 138. What you do to one side, you do to the other. These cross out. 80 minus 138 is 42. So our mystery angle is 42 degrees. Okay, the next thing is we're going to classify triangles. If you have a triangle and all 3 angles are less than 90 degrees, then it is called acute. If one of the angles is bigger than 90 degrees, that one, see it's bigger than an L, then it is called obtuse. Now, a long time ago, well, it still sort of means it. So acute, if these were arrowheads, acute means sharp, and obtuse means dull. Do you see that? So if someone says you've made an acute observation, that means you were smart, you were sharp. If someone calls you obtuse, you are an obtuse oaf, that means they're calling you stupid. And they're trying to use big words so that you don't even know that they are calling you stupid. But now you know. If someone calls you obtuse, be offended. Okay? Now, the shortening of acute is cute. And it used to mean smart. If you're reading an old book and some guy is cute, it does not mean he's good looking. It means that he was smart. But our language changes over the years. And now when we say cute, we don't mean smart. When people say Justin Bieber is cute, they are not talking about him being smart. Just to let you know. Alright, so acute, obtuse. The next one we have already talked about, it's a right angle where one of the angles is 90 degrees, a perfect L. And the symbol for it is that little sort of 7 looking thing. And a lot of times it's red. Sort of by tradition it's red. Okay, now another way that you can classify triangles is if all 3 angles are the same, it's called equal angular. And it turns out because all 3 angles added up together is 180, so that would be like 3x equals 180 divided by 3 divided by 3. If they're all the same, it turns out they're 60. And how you mark them the same is with this red little swoosh. It means those 3 are the same. Now, the problem is equal angular is very difficult to say. I almost have to get my whole face involved in saying it. And it turns out that if something is equiangular, it is also equilateral, which means if the three angles are the same, the three sides are the same. And equilateral is much easier to say. So we never call them equiangular, except in this chapter. We call them equilateral. Much easier to say. The other thing is if just two sides are equal, and so see how I mark the two sides equal? It's called isosceles. Iso means same, so there's two sides that are the same. It turns out that if two sides are the same, two angles are also the same. So this side is different and that angle is different, but this is an isosceles triangle. So two angles are two. If no sides are the same, it is called scaling. So here I have a triangle that's 3 on one side, 4 on the other, and 5 on the other. It is scaling. No two sides are the same length. But it turns out if a triangle is 3, 4, 5, it's a right triangle. So we wouldn't call it scaling, we call it right. It's more positive name. Instead of calling it scaling, nothing equals, we call it right. Hey, 1/4 is 90 degrees. Go triangle. All right, I like this. I like triangles. Come back and we'll go back to not talking about that. We're going to talk about, well, we are actually going to talk something about it. We're going to talk about what squares and triangles have together. Come back and find out what that is. Math is great.